She walks into the room, and everything changes. Not because she's trying to impress, not because she demands attention, but because her spirit speaks louder than her words ever could. You feel something when she enters, a shift in the atmosphere, a peace, a power, a presence. This is not just any woman. This is a chosen woman. And chosen women are different, not by accident, not because of ego or pride, but because God Himself placed a mark on her spirit long before she knew who she was becoming. From a young age, she felt it. The discomfort, the distance, the feeling of being out of place, even in a crowded room. She wondered why others fit in so easily, why their smiles were unbothered, why their paths seemed smooth, but hers, rough, lonely, confusing. That wasn't a mistake. That was divine separation. Because when you're chosen, you're not called to fit in. You're called to stand apart. She has cried silent tears that no one knows about. She has carried burdens she couldn't explain. She has endured heartbreaks that would have broken others. But somehow, she always stood back up. Because chosen women don't collapse under pressure. They transform in it. While others are waiting to be rescued, she is being refined. By pain, by rejection, by silence. These weren't punishments. They were preparation. She learned to be still when the world screamed. She learned to trust when everything around her crumbled. She learned that her strength did not come from what she had, but from who she is. And who she is was formed in fire. A chosen woman doesn't beg for love. She knows her worth. Because she's been through too much to settle for less than what God said she deserves. She has learned that sometimes being alone is part of the process. That isolation often comes before elevation. That God hides His most powerful vessels in the dark, before revealing them in the light. She's not trying to impress anyone, because the anointing speaks louder than approval. People notice her, but they can't quite figure her out. Some are drawn to her. Some are intimidated by her. Some admire her from afar, but are too afraid to get close, because her spirit exposes what's real and what's fake. Her presence convicts. Her silence speaks truth. She walks in obedience, not perfection. She still makes mistakes. She still questions things. She still battles doubt. But even in the valley, she listens for God's voice. Even when she's tired, she shows up with grace. Even when she feels unseen, He sees her. He always has. You see, chosen women are often rejected by those they love the most. Not because they're unworthy of love, but because their light reveals what others aren't ready to face. People say she's too deep, too emotional, too intense. But really, she's just spiritually awake in a world that's fast asleep. She doesn't talk much about what she's going through, because most people wouldn't understand. But God does, and He's the one guiding her steps. She's not trying to be strong anymore. She just is. Because she's had no choice, and every tear she's cried became fuel for the calling she's now walking in. So if you've ever felt like you were the odd one out, like no one truly sees the real you, like your heart carries more than it should, maybe it's because you're one of them. A chosen woman. And what makes her different is not her looks. It's not her voice. It's not her style. It's her spirit. It's the oil on her life. It's the fire that didn't consume her. It's the fact that God placed His hand on her when no one else even saw her. She doesn't just walk through storms. She commands peace in the middle of them. She doesn't just speak words. She speaks life. She doesn't just survive. She transforms. And the truth is, the world is not ready for what she carries. But heaven is. Heaven's been waiting. Because her destiny isn't to impress people. It's to fulfill prophecy. So if you're watching this right now, and something in your soul is shaking, if tears are welling up, and you don't even know why, if this message is reaching places in you that no one else ever touched, it's not by chance. It's confirmation. You are not crazy. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are chosen. And that changes everything. They stare, but they don't understand. They gossip, but they can't touch. They envy, but they could never walk a mile in her shoes. Because the journey of a chosen woman is sacred. It's not something you can imitate. It's something you're born into, through fire, tears, and favor. She's had to learn the hard way that being chosen means being misunderstood. It means being judged without being known. It means walking with wounds while still healing others. But she does it anyway, because she knows she was built for this. Every scar is now a seal of authority. Every rejection is now a badge of purpose. Every delay was actually divine protection. You see, when you're a chosen woman, your life becomes a message. You're not just living for yourself. You're breaking generational chains. You're shifting spiritual atmospheres. You're walking in prophetic alignment with heaven's timeline. She is set apart, not because she wants to be better than others, but because God called her to higher standards. She doesn't entertain drama because her soul is on a mission. She doesn't chase attention because her value is rooted in God's approval. She doesn't beg to stay in rooms where she's only tolerated because she knows the table God is preparing for her is greater than any room man could keep her from. And when she loves deeply. Not because she's naive, but because she understands the power of pure love in a broken world. Her heart is not weak. It's a weapon. Her smile isn't fake. It's faith under fire. Her silence is not ignorance. It's strategy. Because when you carry divine wisdom, you don't argue with fools. You wait for fruit to speak. The enemy has tried to break her more times than she can count. But every time he thought he won, she came back stronger. Why? Because heaven fights for her. She is protected in the spirit. She is guarded by angels. And even when she's unaware, God is moving mountains in the background just for her. People wonder why doors open for her, why blessings chase her, why peace surrounds her, even in the middle of chaos. It's because she walks with favor. She walks in alignment. She walks in covenant. Chosen women don't follow the crowd. They follow the voice of God. Even when it's unpopular, even when it hurts, even when it means walking away from everything she thought she wanted. Because obedience isn't an option, it's her oxygen. She's had to learn to forgive people who never apologized. She's had to love people who used her. She's had to show up for people who left her hanging. But she did it all while keeping her soul clean. Because she understands, vengeance isn't hers. It belongs to the one who chose her. The chosen woman is dangerous to the enemy. Not because she's loud, but because she's anointed. She doesn't curse her past. She thanks it. Because it made her wise. It made her bold. It made her unshakable. She's not perfect, but she's purified. By trials, by tears, by truth. And now she moves differently. She speaks with clarity. She loves with intention. She prays with fire. She knows her assignment. She's not confused about who she is anymore. She's not seeking validation. She's not begging to be seen. Because the throne room saw her before the earth ever did. Because heaven wrote her name and purpose long before man gave her labels. So when you see her, know this. She's not lucky. She's not just confident. She's not just wise. She's chosen. And what makes her different is divine. It's in her posture. It's in her spirit. It's in the way she carries peace like a sword and love like a shield. She is not common. She is called. And the world is just now catching up to what God has always known. She is here on assignment. So if you are one of them, one of the women whose path has been lonely, whose prayers have been tear-soaked, whose soul has felt heavy with purpose, don't you dare give up. Don't you dare settle. Don't you dare shrink. Because the world needs what's inside you. Heaven is counting on your yes. You are the answer to prayers generations before you cried. You are the key to healing a bloodline. You are the light someone is desperately looking for. And you're not just different. You're divine. Chosen woman, rise.